Hi and welcome. My name is Phil Wolfson. It is my great pleasure to introduce you to the Infinite Playa and the KDomeMicroDome, which is our camp within the Infinite Playa. I've had the pleasure of being to Burning Man 3 times in my life. Pleasure doesn't quite encompass it. Really, the opportunity to be in an altered space of such great sharing and feeling and an opportunity to liberate and be one's own true self and to share that with others in generosity and in creativity. I've had great fun. And Burning Man is a lot about fun. But Burning Man is also about a quality of life that's so essential to our being, especially in this time. This is a time of great suffering, and the values of Burning Man are essentially the values that we want to bring into the world, nurture, and manifest in our own beings and in our relationships with others. And those are the values of sharing and giving, of connecting, being for each other, being tolerant, being respectful, being thoughtful, and engaged in the great game of play and in this great game of living intelligently, thoughtfully, and mindfully. So I went to Burning Man, I think it was 2006, and I told my son, Eric, who you now know as Helix. He's also been Paulie Amori when he ran for mayor of Los Angeles 2 years ago, and on the Vote for Love ticket. And Helix became an aficionado. He became someone who loved festivals and loves festivals. For 4 years, he was the mayor of Lightning in a Bottle, whatever the hell that means. It's not really a position, it's really a farce. But it was a fun farce. And in Burning Man, as it evolved, he developed camps, he developed relationships, he brought people in, and he didn't miss a beat of Burning Man. He's been and he's cultivated friendships from Burning Man, a community that's so large and extensive that he is in this position of manifesting the virtual Burning Man. COVID has stopped us from being able to experience Burning Man in the flesh, which is tragic, but at the same time gives us an opportunity to reform, which is what Helix has taken on. He's taken on a daunting task of trying to create for us an image of Burning Man, a participatory experience of Burning Man, where we come in a web format as avatars and move about the playa and see the great concoctions and creations that are made in the web space now that we can't make in the construction space. And we can even have a virtual burn of the man and a virtual temple burn. But more than that, that we can share in novel ways using our technology, which he is in the business of building in a unique and transformative way. There are going to be hiccups. We already have a bit of one. The hiccup being that we're not quite sure yet when we're going to be able to enter the Infinite Playa as avatars, or how many at a time we'll be able to do so. The technology is unprecedented, and as Helix can tell us, and Elliot, his colleague, and others working en masse on this project, as they can tell us, the problems of the technology are vast, new, and unprecedented. So things may go a little bit awry, and we're prepared for that, and we are going to take you into the realm as well as we can. For our part, we're the KDome and the MicroDome. So what is that all about? Well, we're in this extraordinary moment of psychedelic expansion through clinical trials. Psychedelic expansion occurred a long time ago, and what I call the ground of people, not the underground, the ground, the experience of being an altered person with a psychedelic medicine, hopefully in great set and setting, That has been going on for many, many decades. Now we're in the enlightenment of the use of psychedelics because we're doing clinical studies that conform to requirements of FDA that are indeed thorough looks at how psychedelics in a limited way function. Well, we're the KDoMe because we're involved with the ketamine molecule, which is a legal molecule, originally an anesthetic that came into being in the late 60s, which was known immediately for psychedelic properties and, of course, picked up by the ground and used in various ways to explore mind. So we've been in the process of doing just that, exploring mind as a psychotherapy with people in clinical settings in which the variety of issues that people present with of an emotional, spiritual kind have been worked with in such a way that we have methodologies surrounding the use of this particular molecule that makes for very helpful, beneficial experiences. That's part of what we're going to present in the KDoMe and the MicroDome. And we learned a lot about what the essences are, and we're learning more. So one of the main essences of the ketamine experience in our hands, and in general with psychedelics, is that it upgrades the meditative experience in its many varieties. By meditative, I mean the loss of obsession and focus in negative ways so that one is liberated and open to new mind without a preoccupation. Ketamine takes us into a liberated space where what we start with, we don't continue with, and we may come back to, but where we have a period in which we are traveling, journeying, either at low dose in a trance format or a high dose in a transformational format. We're not going to go into the details of how to use it. We're going to answer lots of questions. We have lots of opportunities for people to cohere with us and talk with us. We're going to present a lot of information about how ketamine can be used in different ways by different practitioners. We're also doing an amazing series on meditation and psychedelics. And we're not confining ourselves just to the use of ketamine. We're interested in the psychedelic experience and the expansion of the toolbox so that we can legally prescribe MDMA, psilocybin, we hope ayahuasca, and other substances that are transformative in nature within a really secure, thoughtful nest that we build for each occasion and for each person or persons or even families. So that's a good part of what we're doing together in the KDoMe and MicroDome. But we're doing a lot of other things. We're going to have fun. We have amazing music. We have what we call the K reveries that start at about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock every night, except the nights of the burns, and with great DJs, great music, great reverie, hang out in it, great visuals, great art. We have an extraordinary set of interviews with many of the people who you may know of, or you may want to learn to know better because they're amazing humans doing amazing things. We have discussions of the issues of economics, the commercialization of psychedelic medicines, the expansion of their use, the issues of access to care, finances, and we're also really into the trauma time that we're in, and we want to be a source for all of you to be more involved in trauma work and to be more thoughtful internally about how we view ourselves, our prejudices. This is a time of confrontation with racism and bigotry, the development of tolerance, which is a ketamine idea. And I really mean to say a Burning Man idea. That tolerance at Burning Man is an essential feature of the work of being together. And we want to bring that into the KDoMe and MicroDome. And we want people to be able to express themselves and to unite as women doing ketamine work and psychedelic work, in which women have been woefully unrepresented within the hierarchy of psychedelic medicine, within the framework of racism and dealing with it, within the framework of loss and bereavement from COVID-19, within the framework of global climate change and the misery and impoverishment that's occurring in the world. So this has a kind of spiritual, emotional, political agenda, which I'm not hiding from. I'm explicit about it. This is about healing the world as much as we can, being participants in the process of healing the world. And I hope you'll join us in this endeavor. We have some initiatives. Deepak Chopra has a marvelous initiative, and we've just started to talk about our InjursNet Coalition working together as we fuse with other groups who are trying to develop strategies for helping people with the expression of trauma, or in Deepak's case, focusing on suicidality, which is such an awful scourge in our societies, and really coming together. So we hope this will be a unification. We have some brilliant stuff on art. There is a visit to Allison and Alex Gray's studio, which is just a mind blow. Speak of psychedelic, speak of intelligence. We have extraordinary presentations by many of the masters in the field of psychotherapy. Bessel van der Kolk is doing a series, well, he's doing a 2-hour session on neuroscience with some of the most extraordinary neuroscientific people around, exploring its relationship to understanding mind and consciousness. And that's what we're doing. We're exploring consciousness, we're exploring heart, we're exploring our empathy for others, we're exploring how our mirror neurons work and create conditions of relationship and quality of relationship. So welcome to the KDome, the MicroDome. We look forward to being with you. If we have hiccups, we'll try and help you out so that you don't choke on the hiccups. There may be some, but I trust that we will all share together our tolerance to get past it for the greater good of this experience together. And I want to say my deepest heartful thanks to Helix Wolfson. He is my son, but he's also one of the most extraordinary people on the planet, whether he was my son or I just met him. He's just wildly extraordinary, and he's put this together, and we couldn't do this unless he had put this together. So we wish him well. There's a lot of feeling about, oh, we want this to work. This has got to work. We're doing our best, but this is new. We don't know what will happen. And let's wish him the best and send blessings for all of us to have a great, fun experience. There are parties, there are fun events. Let's hang, let's dance, and let's learn from each other. Thanks so much for joining us in the KDome and the MicroDome. Take good care.